Gentlemen, welcome back to the shop. A cautionary tale. 'Tis the season. You turn your back and some jolly fuck tries to ram a big chunk of iron in your holiest of holies, the backside of which contains your empire dirt. What do we got here, Duclaw?
Got two big wrenches in the microphone.
This here is an 80 kilowatt generator. What takes filthy dinosaur squeezins, been buried for hundreds of millions of years. You dredge them up and kill Mother Earth Gaia. You burn them in order to get angry pixies out the tail end. 80 kilowatts worth of the Jesus things, 277 amperes worth of 208. Now, this was either a sore dick deal or a not bad deal, which we got to rebuild. Either way, it's a win-win.
You can't lose with that kind of logic.
Nothing but some minor, just the barest whiff of oxidation. Look at the accordion, the bellows here. What you, concertina maybe you call that. If you'd focus, you would notice that there is not a stitch of bluing on there, hasn't ever been run hard. This come out of a fire hall as a backup generator. And you know those, God bless them firemen, it's kind of a little bit worry-warty when it comes to not having power to cook their 4-course meals in betwixt road calls to check out busted bumpers. I ain't saying, I'm just saying.
You gotta dry out your hockey gloves somehow, right?
Minty fresh. 342 hours on her since the last service, and very likely that's as many hours as she's got. A very easy hours. Now that's not good for diesel engines. They kind of slobber and carbon up if and they're not working hard, and this would have been a standby generator, so this never worked hard. Well, we might have a few carbon issues. I see we got the pan off here, and you got to have a look. See, we got some chunkage. That's not good. Gold! That's why the Gooberment disposed of this asset. Not but a couple micrograms of bearing material. Not good, but it is making its own never sees. If it's already fucked, you can't fuck it anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to bar it over. We're going to have a look at the bearings, make sure there's nothing rattling around. And then if we don't see anything nasty, just going to pop the pan back on, put some oil in her, flash her up, see what happens.
Oh man, that's fuck all in a big ship. What we need are a couple of pipe-hitting white guys.
Oh, Duclaw's on the pipe again. So here's the thing. If I had to guess, I would say this is clockwise from the front. We look at the fan blades direction, and we look at the shrouding on the fan. See how the shrouding is open on this back end? That means it's going to be very likely a push fan. So we got to push the air that way, and the blades are wound up that way. That means clockwise from the front. Now this doesn't have any kind of job scope pumps on it or nothing like that. So even if we turned it in reverse, it very likely wouldn't do anything. Whilst we're in here, we can see the primary oil filter been taken off. Likely they cut that half in two just to check for glitter. It very likely failed its glitter test. And then there's oil all down the side, so they took the valve cover off too just to see what they could see. Duclaw, would you kindly cut my nuts? He does it without question even. Behold, the majesty. 4 liters, well, 3.97257 liters of Japanese diesel glory. These are the same kind of engines in those Fuso trucks, tougher than shit. You also see these if you ever been Cambodia, Vietnam. They take these, put them on a long prop shaft and use them like an outboard on their riverboats. The Jesus things are indestructible. The problem, as outlined by the Duclaw, is these things thrive on abuse and neglect. And being that it was never under load, it very likely just died. It faded away rather than burned out, which is quite sad. Bottom side. Oh, she's spinning a thingin'.
No problem there.
No chunkiness.
Well, there's like that one.
Well, it's going to be. You are compressing a diesel engine, so it's going to be a little bit tight at top dead center. No grinding noises though, and no, I'm calling it. We got a winner. Oh yeah, push rods go up.
So far, no grindies.
Oh, yeah. This thing's gonna flash right up.
First go.
First go.
First go. Make sure we got fucking fuel up there, and then.
Bingo, bango. Bob's your auntie. All right, let's get this thing buttoned up. I gotta get a filter. Yep. Go down to the local scumbags. Ask them for a PP66 GF 30%. Do you want me to come back there and look for the fucking thing? Look at this.
Can you see?
I can see clearly now. The rain is gone.
It's perfect. It's perfect. We're good. Let's fucking get.
Yeah. Let's get that pan back on.
Get some oil.
We'll start fucking wetting that thing up, Duclaw. Hey, give this a hoot.
Say it's closer than a blade, or your money back. Jesus Christ! It's got too many heads. I can't control it. What's it supposed to do?
It is supposed to put money in the wallet of the executives at Borscht.
It's fucking the best made tool ever then for that.
Okay, the wiener sliding goes in. Oh, we gotta go get filters. I'm Rochambeauing you to see who's the nipper.
I just spent the time cleaning this up.
Yeah, fucking, that's your, never trust a fucking scumbag. One, two, three.
Go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Ah! Despite there being no caterpillar on the side of this, I figured we get her a little cat juice. The old motor medic, liquid fire. She's either gonna run or...
Motor medic, we gotta fix that.
Some gags, even though you just gotta follow through. And don't use blue because these sticks will poke through. Better job, better the job, you know. You got to at least get enough so that the overflow schmutzes off and plugs up your oil intake. Carefully. Ease it in. Oh, there go all the bolts. Fucker! Hung up on something. Oh, there we go. You give her all the way till you hear the crack in the back of quarter turn, and that makes sure that the pan, because it's just sheet metal. Oh, okay, good. Because it's just sheet metal, you want to make sure you torque the ever-living fuck out of it so it bends the sheet metal and then never seals. Ever. And sometimes, yes, when you're not in your own make-believe fucking la-la land, you need to thread in a bolt with the socket and extension. Just the one spare fastener left over. That's pretty much par for the course, isn't it?
Well, you can't get your big fat hand in there?
Oh, fuck. You're giving me body issues.
Your hands are putting on weight, man.
I'm just so used to working with you that most times it's like working against somebody else. Gressom the filter, s'il vous plaît, monsieur.
Yeah, your internet friends will be happy. They'll have some.
Oh, my internet friends are gonna fucking eviscerate me, son of a ditch. Made in South Africa. Fram.
That's where all the best car parts.
Oh man, might as well not even fucking put it on there. Well, you gotta run what you brung. It's, holy fuck. Look at this. Look at this. You got fucking curly cues of metal hanging out in there.
Already?
So you won't find this in the Fram manual, but in my experience, you always got to pick the razor sharp curly cues of steel out of the filter prior to installation. Also, grease up this O-ring, and for fuck's sakes, hand tight it on, not with a wrench, because the Jesus thing welds itself on, and then the next guy just about needs Terry the torch to get it off. Remember, kids, the next guy is gonna be you. Two schools of thought on this. One, you pre-fill your filter so that your engine doesn't run dry. But the other school of thought is if you pour engine oil directly into here, then you're having unfiltered engine oil go through your engine. I'm of the school of thought if I forgot to fill it, so fuck it. Oh look, I'm the next guy. Drink up, little buddy. Glug, glug, glug. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing twice. Always time to get it right the second time. Click. Serendipitously, because this is so new, now the tags are worn off. 24 volts, right on the back of the starter. Now we got to check our coolant, our belts, make sure none of the bolts are loose. Nothing on the fuel injection rail is loose. All of the intake bolts are tight, and nothing kills an engine quicker than getting dusted out. All right, lots of coolant. You'll just have to take my word for it. A little bit precarious up here. Whoopsie doodle. Whilst the Duclaw's out getting batteries. Now, I do plan ahead. I know it doesn't seem that way, but I had planned for this to be 12 volts. This had other ideas in mind. I'm not going to put the air filter on that air inlet because this is an unknown commodity. If the fuel rack is stuck or it's self-feeding fuel or oil into the turbo, it's going to run away. So we need access to the inlet so we can cover that inlet with a board so it doesn't kill us all, essentially. So that's why I'm leaving the filter off. Something else fun here in the electrical box. Oh, 70s style Hustler bush with some flags. Everyone's favorite. And looks like she's had a go at her before. What's this say now? Terminal, control terminal 10. What would that be? 10, the remote start. No biggie. This guy is probably something for that remote start. Battery terminal, negative. 7. Coolant level, huh? I'm not qualified to touch those. That's clearly an electrical issue. What do we have here? The day is the morrow, and the Duclaw got these two batteries seriesed up. 12 volts each, seriesed, gives us 24. With the benefit of prescience, well, the prescience, what comes from heuristics and having runaways before, we have made a safety device, critical safety device. And we are also gonna snippy snip these little dangly bits so we don't get any nasty surprises. We're gonna do the most important part of any job, that is the idiot check. Look for tools, look for loose things, look for stuff the idiot's left behind. All right, Duclaw, standard startup procedure supply. You stay calm, and if you see me running, save the shop. Now we only got about 500 liters of fuel in this thing, so that's not gonna do it. And there's no emergency battery disconnect, so the Duclaw is gonna have his wrench at the ready in case we gotta disconnect the batteries. I'm gonna have my Emergi-fucking-Gency plank. And well, the good thing about diesels is you can see exactly what they're doing by looking at the exhaust smoke. So when we try and fire this up, if there's nothing coming out of the stack, we know it's not getting any fuel at all. Probably got an electrical problem with the fuel system, maybe a solenoid. If there's billows of white smoke, we're golden, it's getting lots of fuel, but it's just not firing. Now, if the thing's been running for a while and there's billows of white smoke and it kind of smells like maple syrup, we got coolant in the exhaust, and then if we got big black billows of smoke and it's revving up like it wants to explode, we got it self-feeding oil from somewhere, likely a turbocharger. So diesels, you tell a lot from the exhaust. All right, buddy, here's red hot copper in your eye. Key, aren't act. Something knocking pretty good. Contact. Look, judging by the smoke there, we got a bad hole or something completely fuckered. So we got probably in the bottom end a bad bearing, spun bearing or something. No alarms on the display. Means there's no faults showing up from the generator side. The Duclaw is going to bend his ear to the task. He's got a big long screwdriver, and we're going to check the holes up against his ear, see which one's knocking the worst. Contact. What say you, Herr Doctor?
I would say it's, well, from the front, number 2 from the front anyway. But.
Number 2 from the front, fuckered. Nothing so bad that it couldn't get worse. We're in a win-win situation. we get to take it apart and rebuild it. Goes to show the old rule applies. Diesels, you got to run them. They like to work. This one sat, maybe got started once a month, not but 342 hours on the cork stuffer, and she gone. Hey, it's a win-win. Thanks for watching. Keep your dick in a vice. Hey, Duclaw, you want to tone it down a bit there? You know, you go to a wedding, you don't want to outshine the bride. You know what I'm saying? Fucking guy.
Sorry, I'll try to swear more and sound dumber. How's that sound?
Perfect.